Jim Gilchrist is the co-founder of the Minutemen. They're a group that does border patrols and tries to keep immigrants out of the country. And he went on a conservative radio show with the host Vic Eliason, and they're going to get an old lady calling in here. Listen to the insane conversation that follows.
Think of the money that we're giving to these illegals, millions of them. They come over, they get free medical, they get free housing, they get food stamps, they get money to live somewhere, and they get all the jobs. And we're sitting here like a bunch of dummies, and our own people don't get any help. It's and we're giving them all this money, help, and food, and medical, and everything. And so that's breaking us up. It's bankrupting us, and that's their whole idea. What we need to do is put them in a prison camp or a building and not give them any help. Just lock them up, chain their arms behind them or something. Or otherwise, we're going to put them in a building and gas them to death like they did in Germany. I mean, we can't put up with this because...
Well, you know, the gassing of this is the inhumane things. And one thing when you're dealing with intolerance, you're dealing with terrorism, you're dealing with all kinds of invasions into the country, it's very easy to slip into the area of violent behavior, which and we think back to the Third Reich and Hitler and all the gassing of the Jews and things of this nature. But, you know, I don't think that this country is that kind of a people. Even though there is a problem out there, it's only the radicals that are screaming to do violent things. Why is it that we can't just use the Constitution and deal with it, Jim?
I understand that lady's angst. And if we're going to have a Congress and a president and a mob of illegal aliens who are going to snub their nose at the law, why can't this lady feel the same way? And I sense that is where her anger is coming from. She has no intention of putting anybody...
No, I know that.
I think that was a metaphor.
I know the caller, and
her.
She's my friend. I know the caller. But let me
commend her for coming forth with her feelings, because I know what she's talking about. Thank you, ma'am.
I commend her for coming forth with her feelings, and I know what she's talking about. Thank you, ma'am. She's a friend. Oh, she's courageous to speak her mind and tell us what's actually going on. She just called for gassing of immigrants, Nazi Germany style. She actually said that. Whoa, you should put them in camps, and then we should gas them like they did in Germany. Oh, man. What have we come to in this country? Look, the host originally said, yeah, it's inhumane. Let's bring it down here. But then at the end there, again, they kind of say, well, but I understand it. Really, you understand it? That's a debatable proposition. Well, I get the feeling sometimes you want to shove somebody into a gas chamber and say, fuck off. No, you don't. No, you don't. I never felt that. Have you felt that? I've never felt that. Unbelievable, man. A whole group of people just, hey, shove them in a gas chamber. It's cool, whatever. And then everything else she said was false too. Oh, they get so much money from us. No, they don't. No, they don't. Did you know that undocumented immigrants, they're not even allowed to get most of these social safety net programs because they're undocumented? So it's this made up idea that, well, they're coming in here and taking all the resources. She said it's bankrupting us. Actually, no, 57% of discretionary spending is military spending. 900 military bases, over $7 trillion wasted in Iraq and Afghanistan. The list goes on and on. The military-industrial complex. I mean, nonsense Abrams tanks being built for no reason when the Pentagon says we don't need these, but Congress passes a bill to create them anyway because they got paid off by the Abrams tank company, and now they're sitting in the middle of the desert in Nevada. That's where all the money's going. The military-industrial complex, corporate welfare. You know, these are the actual problems we face, but they say, no, it's just everybody with darker skin than me. It's the stupid, pathetic, primitive, tribal mindset that unfortunately a lot of older white people have grasped and held on to. And they don't get it. They just don't understand that makes you a savage, that makes you a barbarian. You're going after undocumented immigrants like they are savages and barbarians, but you're advocating for gassing them. That means you're way worse. but they just don't get it because they're not into logic, they're not into reason, they're not into rationality, they're not into being objective and looking at themselves through the same lens and using the same standard that they use to try to critique other groups of people. And it's so sad.